So our crate, storage crate number one, is packed. That's packed pretty good. You have to kind of be cautious how much you actually put in there. Uh-oh. There we go. And I think there's a max of 6,000 pounds that you can put in these containers. This is, I'm using pack rat. There's pods and there's other ones out there. And this is going to get picked up later today. And we will be getting another one dropped off a little bit later. I guess when this gets picked up, they're going to drop off another 16-foot for us. And that should take care of the the stuff that's going down with my son. My son is going to be moving in with some family. And my wife has a lot of family down in Louisiana. Her whole family, they all live, basically on the same street or in the same area. So he's going to move down there. He'll have a nice, good sit, girl. He'll have a good support system down there. My family, we're spread out all over the U.S. And we've been in this house for over 25 years. And we've been married almost 30. We moved here from Guam. And we don't have any family that's close by. I mean, the closest family we have would be Missouri, Iowa, and places way out west. So not very good support system. But we moved here for work and have gathered all kinds of stuff over the years. And we're doing these crates. We'll have a total of 3 of them. These 2 here will be going down to Louisiana, and my son has his stuff in there, and there's stuff that we're gifting family members that they said they would like to have. So it's all going down to Louisiana. They'll take whatever they need to take or want to take, and I'll be done with those crates. The third one, they'll get dropped off next week, I believe, will be the stuff that we're going to keep. And the stuff behind me is the stuff that we're keeping. The wife wants to go through that even more and downsize even more, and then she sits there and thinks about it. I have tools. Not everything in this garage that we're keeping. We've been going through everything in the house and kind of moving things in here slowly, that stuff that we're going to keep. But again, we're going to go through it again. I don't think we're going to need anything but maybe an 8-foot, the small container. The downsizing process is a very, very interesting process. So if you're looking at downsizing, I would highly recommend it going into retirement. It is a little emotional in the beginning. You don't want to throw away anything. You don't want to throw away anything. You don't want to. I don't know. There's a lot of what ifs, and a lot of the what ifs really don't matter. I guess in the end is what I'm saying. You're going to get over it, and you're going to decide once you talk to your kids or people like, are you going to want this when we're gone? The answer is going to be no for the most part. No one's going to say I want your shit. Downsizing in retirement. I mean, there's a lot of benefits. There's some cons to it, but I think the big cons is the emotional attachments you have with some of the stuff. And if you can get past letting go most, if not all of it, I don't think we're ever going to get rid of everything. I think there's some things we're going to keep because there are our memories. And if you can get past that, hey, it's your memories. Your kids might have memories, but it may not be good memories or memories that they remember like you do. They may not be the same thing. They may not have meaning. Maybe you can get past that. It might be a lot easier. But it's freeing going through everything, like, gone, gone, gone. My wife is more, I guess she's the pack rat now. She doesn't like to throw anything away because once you throw it away, oh man, I could have used that, but I threw it away, or whatever, got rid of it. She doesn't like throwing anything away. She keeps everything. But she's the one that's the most active, that she is ready to go. Boom, 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 boom. And we talked about doing this, but when she turned 52, she retired at 48. She retired at 48. So she had a good number of years, but she had the opportunity that came, and that's what is getting us to do this way sooner than we expected. So downsizing is great. Not downsizing. You're just going to probably continue getting more and more stuff over time. My wife, she buys trolls, gnomes. We have this thing where we, like, our anniversary, we buy like something for the house or furniture or just something for us. We don't really buy each other presents anymore. But our anniversary, we'll buy something for the family. Whatever it could be, kitchen table. One year we got it was like living room set, bedroom set. Another year, so we buy things for us, and that's kind of it's filled up the house quite a bit over the years. Again, 25 years, it has filled up pretty good. So, one of the other cons of downsizing is there is an adjustment period once you downsize, and during the downsizing process, it takes a little bit to get used to. I've always been more, hey, live small. I don't need a lot. I mean, there's a lot of things I would like to have, but I don't find happiness in having a lot of stuff. It just gets way overwhelming for me. And I kind of feel like that's where we're at. But for my wife and for me, it is kind of it is going to take an adjustment period to actually get to where you're actually you feel better or getting over just losing everything that you had. You got to kind of think too is like, what happened if we had a fire? All this stuff's going to be gone anyways. And there's nothing I can do. So I think people are devastated because they lose everything in a flash with a natural disaster. Uh, and doing it this way, we have control in downsizing. Um, we have control of letting go and saying our goodbyes or remembering and the things as we get rid of it and really determine how really important to it is to us to keep this stuff. Um, Another con of learning for downsizing is we don't know what the future is going to be for us. There may be limitations to that. We might settle for a bigger home. We might settle for a home just this size or smaller, and we have nothing to put in it. Because we downsized, we got rid of everything, and then we have to fill that space again, and that probably will bring more stress and whatever else. But for us, we don't know what that future is going to hold for us. We're just selling everything and getting on the road. We don't even know how we're getting to where we're going. We've just decided this is the next stage in our life, and that's where we're going. We don't know what it looks like, how it's going, and we know, anything when we do settle down. Um, it is a possibility that we might have a bigger home than this. I doubt it, but we know we're going to have to fill it with stuff, pots and pans or whatever. So there is that stress. The other part is like selling the house. It's not the best time for the market to sell this house or to sell everything. Interest rates are high, uncertainty in the job markets, hell, the markets alone. Not quite sure, but we're going to sell it and hopefully we'll get top dollar for it. That will help us survive quite a bit. Oops. Yeah, turn that off. The the unexpected cost of keeping this house and keeping the stuff that we have, the unexpected cost or even the planned cost, maintenance that we have to do, is going to tie you into this house. And the more expensive your things are, the more expensive your home, your cars, the stuff, the more it costs to maintain and repair and keep the upkeep on it. Some things more than others. The house, you got to replace the roof every so often. But if there's a storm that ruins the roof, then you got to replace that. Insurance is only going to cover so much, and they may not cover everything, and you're out of pocket on the stuff. The options are like, well, you could just rent this out and have some steady income. But again, I'm paying for all the repairs for this, and I don't want to deal with bad tenants and whatever. I just don't see this. I don't never seen real estate in my own mindset as a good investment, as far as a home and stuff. Because it's just not anything that interests me. Maybe if I own a big, apartment complex, that'd be a different story. But for a house, there is a lot of maintenance and stuff that goes into keeping it up to keep, and I've heard a lot of horror stories, and I have friends that own a lot of properties and stuff, and the horror stories that they've told me told me to stay away from it. But downsizing, we're learning, there's a lot of pros to it, and I've kind of written things down, like eliminating the mortgage that we'll have for this. That's going to cut down, that's going to give us back more money. The utilities, like our electricity bill is high, the sewer, water, and trash, they're all going up. This county that we live in, they're just building new homes. They're building more homes, and they don't have the infrastructure to support it. So what are they doing? They're increasing the cost of power, sewer, water, trash to support the new growth that they're pushing people in there. And it's interesting because they don't have enough water in the aquifers to support all this growth that they're going in. So what are they doing? They're using a lot of this money to buy water from other places, to bringing that water down to support the demand that they're having down here. Problem is, all these other places that they're borrowing from, they're growing too. So I don't know how that's sustainable. But getting rid of the mortgage and the utilities and stuff like that, that could essentially get rid of maybe $3-4 grand a month back in our pocket. Which it'll eliminate having to keep a mortgage, power, insurance, upkeep. We always set money aside for repairs and unexpected stuff for the house. So all that stuff we can recoup all that money that we have in these buckets, and we won't have to long to pay for that. So that's a good thing. We'll have a little bit extra cash flow. It's another good positive spin on this. So anything extra will go into whatever we're traveling in or traveling to or whatever, our journey basically. We won't have to pay property taxes, state taxes, except for, I guess, a vehicle insurance. or whatever. I don't know. But as far as property taxes, my property taxes are about 6+ grand a year. It keeps going up, and I'm expected to go up now because the way this county is building up. I'm pretty sure they're going to make everything go up. They already made the trash go up, the water go up, the sewer go up here in the last few months. A lot of people are getting kind of sticker shock how much it's gone up. So not that it impacts us too much, but still not having to pay that all the time is fine. Another pro of getting rid of this stuff is, I no longer have to, stress about any of this crap. I don't have to worry about what I'm going to do with it, or repairing or keeping it. I don't know. There's no stress when it comes with stuff. The more stuff you have, the more stress it comes with. And getting rid of it, frees up that stress. Gives you more freedom to go out and do what it is that you want to do, to travel, to have new experiences, to love on my little baby. My little baby. Yes, my big boy. And she wants to climb up on my lap and cuddle. That's what's going on. No, we're not cuddling right now. All right, go ahead, sweetheart. Gotta push you off. All right, you're good. You're good too. Uh, so they're having less stress and more freedom in your everyday life and more money in your pocket typically. Not all, you know, I, not all situations are the same. Everybody has different situation, different things going on in their lives. But for us, it should free up and make things a lot easier for us. Another pro with downsizing and letting go of your stuff is, getting rid of your home is, as you get older, climbing up stairs. If you have stairs, I don't have stairs, but a few steps here and there. Your home may not be, the furniture and the stuff that you have may not be friendly to your old age. You might, be wheelchair bound. You might have difficulty going up and down stairs. There's a lot of things that go into it that, people don't really think about. Getting old, arthritis, and it's inevitable. I can't even say that word right. It gets difficult to maintain different things. I saw a guy on the news report that he's actually getting sued by an HOA. I don't live in an HOA. I don't care about HOAs. I refuse to have anything to do with an HOA. I've always said I am not going to ever let an HOA dictate my, if I want to paint my house pink or purple with polka dots, that's my prerogative. I don't like being told what to do with my house. But this guy, he's like 80 years old, 80 something years old, right? And this was, I want to say this was in Arizona. And he went through the whole process, got it approved, and he replaced his grass with turf. It looks like grass. It looks green. He's meeting all the standards, right? But everything got approved. And he did that because he's so old now that it's difficult for him to cut the grass. So he went with artificial turf. Of course, now he's getting, they're battling him because apparently the turf that he selected doesn't allow rainwater to get past. I don't know. I don't know all the semantics in that, and I would call shenanigans with it. It doesn't rain too much in Arizona where he was at anyways, but they expect you to have nice green lawns in the desert. I'm like, whatever. But, having turf, that's how he got around. That's why he's looking to get around to make his life a little bit easier. And, maybe, I'm kind of looking at, maybe just having a condo or renting out something, my older age, where I don't have to maintain a lawn. I think I'm done with having a lawn. I would love to have a big garden. I would love to have a nice yard, and I still might have that. I would love to have 50 acres, let my dogs run wild, go for walks and whatever. And that could be a possibility. I just don't know. But you have to sit there and think, 10 years, 20 years from now, what is life going to be like? And, downsizing is that process of letting go and redefining what your future is. We don't really sit there and think and plan that stuff when we're young because we're in the moment. And I was in the moment quite a bit. Done a lot of stupid things, got a lot of stories, and I've lived life pretty good. But now, I want to live life again. I settled down, got married, had kids and dogs, and we've put work before everything else for a number of years. And now we're trying to take a step back and put our lives back, as a priority. So retiring early, I know not everybody retires as young as we have. I know a lot more people don't have that opportunity, or never planned or never thought about it. But when it comes down to downsizing, I think being free of so much, like there's like a lot of weight that's getting lifted up off our shoulders by just letting go of things that we've had for forever. It sucks because you poured a lot of money into getting these things, and then you're just kind of letting these things go for nothing or for pennies, what you paid for. It sucks, but the next time we do it, there's a lot more thought process. We're not really trying to buy anything now. We're like the stuff that we're buying, like, okay, do we really need that? We sit there and thinking about it, and then before we buy it, it might be a couple of days before we actually buy something. Like, okay, yeah, we need this. So there are some things I'm getting to for the move specifically. Like I'm getting some lithium bags to kind of protect in case there's a fire. They'll just protect everything in the storage unit. That's a temporary thing, but I'm trying to keep what little we have. But yeah, it's interesting. But I just figured I would talk a little bit about downsizing and how it feels, some of the pros and the cons that I'm noticing. And in retirement, I think it's a good step forward to get into the next thing we do. So I guess that's all I can think of right about now. Like I said, we have a crate leaving today, got a new crate coming in. I have some boys coming to help me load the second crate up in a couple of days. We're going to get that loaded up, and then that's going to take off to Louisiana early next week, I think Monday. And we'll be done with that, and the third one will get dropped off, and then that will sit here until the house gets sold and slowly moving things into it little by little. And once the house is sold, everything will be in it, and we'll be out of here. So we are looking forward to that. Anyways, well, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please comment. Tell me your thoughts on downsizing and have you and where you're at. I love reading the comments. I love answering. I appreciate any likes and subscribe. And I will see you guys some more later.